What is up, guys? Welcome to another Jeep Cherokee video, and today we are going to be doing something that is long overdue, and that is putting speakers in it. So right here we've got two mismatched pairs of speakers. I'll go over that in just a little bit why. And right here we have a Pioneer MVH S322BT, which doesn't have a CD player, but because I never used the one in the 4Runner anyway, it's not going to make much of a difference. So we're going to go ahead and start off with this fitting adapter right here for the head unit. Just going to go ahead and cut it open. And if you order from Crutchfield, they actually include this for free, which is pretty sweet. So there it is right there. Head unit kind of goes in here, and then it slots into the dashboard so you can mount it up properly, which the original head unit was not even screwed in. So that's awesome. And then this, I'm not entirely sure what this is for, but we'll probably figure it out later. And inside the bag, we also have some screws for it. A couple more of these little plastic bits right here, along with an instruction manual for it. So with that adapter out of the way, let's go ahead and get onto the head unit here. So this is a very basic unit. It doesn't change colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. Oh, I forgot to mention, look, it can play Flax. That's pretty cool. It's basically the MP3 of the lossless audio world. Anyway, right here we've got, I'm gonna guess that's mounting hardware. We also have the wiring harness, which we will need to attach up to something else later on. And then under that flap, we can lift out the actual head unit, which is very, very shallow. So there's that. Does it have specs? No, it does not. I'm pretty sure it's got 14 or 18 watts RMS output. It also has a little 10 amp fuse right here, along with pre-outs. So this is for your front speakers, and this is either for your rear pair of speakers or a subwoofer. Kind of sucks that there's not 3 pre-out sets on it, but that's what you're stuck with. And then around the front, pretty basic. Looks pretty nice though. I think you can take the faceplate off, maybe. Yep. Just like the older ones. Maybe if I can, there we go. So you do that, so if someone decides to go in and steal it, it's gonna be useless. So let's go ahead and get into the speakers, guys. So right here I have a pair of 5 1/4 inch drivers and then a pair of 6 1/2 inch drivers. These are both the S series from Alpine. And the reason why there are 2 different sizes is because these Jeeps were originally fitted for 5 1/4 inch drivers, but the guy I bought it from decided to ghetto rig the crap out of it, and I'll show you that right now. So if you look inside this door right here, it's all sorts of weird. It's all cut. So you are unable to fit a 5 1/4 inch driver in there. As you can see there. Yeah, those are some really pristine cuts. However, the reason I do still have 1 pair of 5 1/4 inch drivers is because there is room to mount them in the back, because on this Cherokee, the hatchback is made of fiberglass, so the guy just drilled extra holes to fit 6 1/2 inch drivers. I didn't care to do that, so I just got a 5 1/4 inch pair. I originally had 2 of these, and then we found out about the ghetto rigging, so I returned it and got this. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this up. I don't think I've ever unboxed a brand new pair of door speakers before. So on the top, what do we have here? Important notice, please read first before installing speakers. Now we're good. Let's go ahead and slide them out. That's nice. All right, so we have on the top mounting hardware and pigtails. We didn't have to buy spade connectors. Toss those off to the side and actually get into the speakers here. So these are, as I said, the 5 1/4 inch size. Check that out. This is the newer version of what I have in the 4Runner. So it's got the textured cone with the ribbed surround, as well as a 1/2 inch tweeter, which I guess they did on the smaller 5 1/4 inch drivers. But on the back, there is still a pretty decent sized magnet, and there's some crossover components here. This is the capacitor, so low frequencies don't get to the tweeter and blow it up. And there's the other one. No rubbing, as you would hope. These are brand new speakers. Now let's get into these 6 1/2 inch drivers. These are exactly the same thing, just a little bit bigger. So in this one, we have basically the exact same notice that we will not bother reading before installing. On the top here, again, we have pigtails and mounting hardware. We'll leave that in there for now just so I don't lose it. Opening it up, we have the 6.5-inch driver along with an adapter, which is actually pretty cool. And then inside here is the 6.5-inch driver itself. So it's the same thing with the ribbed surround and the textured cone, except the tweeter is a 1-inch tweeter now, which is pretty nice. One difference with these between what I have in the 4Runner and the newer ones, because these are the exact same ones as I have in the 4Runner, just the newer version, is they've got a lot more mounting options than even the 5.25-inch counterpart. As you can see here, I'm not really entirely sure why they did that, but that's how it is. And now that I think about it, these mounts are exactly the same as the ones my dad had in the Civic, because guys, if you don't know this, the door speakers in my 4Runner did come out of my dad's old 91 Civic, the Type S Alpines, before they were calling them the S Series. Although I do think the new ones look a lot cleaner. There's no branding on it, black cone, and the ribbed surround looks pretty nice. The ribbed surround also does give you some audio benefits, but realistically you're not gonna notice them too much because these are pretty low-end speakers, but they do still sound pretty good. Now last up we have this adapter. This is a wiring harness, so you can actually use your head unit with the wiring that was in the Jeep to begin with. So here it is right here. There's their connector, and here's the pre-stripped wires, which is pretty nice. We'll have to build that up because I didn't want to spend an extra $25 to have someone do it for me. Now, you guys know that you cannot drive a car without an insane amount of head rattling bass. So if you follow me over here, let me show you what I did for bass. So right here, we have the new kicker, 12-inch sub. As you can see here, it's got some new forced air cooling. I'm not really entirely sure what it does, but the cone does look different. Now we're gonna get into that in a second, but right here, I'm not gonna unbox this right now because I'll lose everything, but this is the wiring kit for it. You got the fuse box, the actual wire, and your signal wire to get the signal from the head unit back to the amp in the back of your car, or wherever you decide to put it. Now, you also can't have subwoofers without an amp. So right here, we have a pretty small amp. This is a Kicker CXA 400.1. It's basically the 400 watt version of the 1200 watt amp I have in the 4Runner. But we're gonna go ahead and cut the tape right here. And go ahead and get this opened up. So similarly, I actually forgot about this, but it comes with a little certificate, which is pretty cool. So certified power, total power output in terms of RMS, not peak, is 401 watts. Now, the 1200 watt amp I had in the 4Runner, I believe tested at 1276. So this is just a little bit lower of a wattage overage, I guess, but it did pass all the tests, which is always a good thing. I really do like that they include this. I think that's awesome. So right here we have the amp itself. Wow, it's really light. As you can see, it's a lot smaller than the one that I have in the 4Runner, but it should be because it's only a third of the power. So it's got a little silica gel pack. Pretty important there. You don't want moisture in your amp. And right here we have the inputs and outputs, because you can daisy chain these. So we've got the input here, it's just RCA. Input level, high or low, depending on how powerful the signal output from your head unit is. And then we have the bass boost. You want to keep that at 0, basically. The gain, we're going to go ahead and turn that up all the way because I do plan on adding a remote gain controller to this at some point. Not entirely sure when. And then the crossover, set that right around there. We can fine tune it later. And then you have your power and protect indicators here. And around the opposite side, you have the input for your power and the remote wire and your outputs for the speakers. At the bottom of the box, you have some mounting hardware because you can vertically mount that amp, along with an instruction manual, or owner's manual, my bad. You're not gonna squat down with me, Josiah?
Do I need to?
Yes. So it's time for my favorite part. We're gonna actually get the subwoofer out of its box. Now I did only go with a single 12-inch for this vehicle, because it was cheaper, and I'm sure it's already gonna rattle plenty with those single 12 anyway. So let's go ahead and cut the tape. Right up front, we have the kicker decals. One of those is definitely gonna go on the back of this Jeep. I guess a list of what the package contains and maybe some wiring instructions. Don't really care too much about that. I'm gonna have to disassemble the box to get these out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. As you can see right here, this is slot ported. I also don't really remember my dual 12 box having this kind of fabric on it, but there's the driver right there. So let me see if I can figure out how to get this bag off. There we go. All right. So, of course, it does have Kicker Comp R stitched into the top here. Actually, oh, they stamp it now? Nuh-uh, hold on. Okay, no, it is sewn in. Okay, good. I'm glad they didn't stop doing that. And then right here, we have the new style driver. This looks so nice. Oh, I really like that. We have a little tag here. What does this say? World-class kicker reliability, now with forced air cooling. Cool stuff. So there it is. The single 12 for the Jeep. We're gonna be pushing 400 watts RMS to this at 800 watts peak, which I believe they're rated at 500 watts RMS and 1000 watts peak, so it's gonna be a little bit lower, but I think we'll be fine overall. So we're gonna go ahead and get to installing this stuff. We're in the process of taking the dash cover off because that's, you know, we need access to that. And it's already pretty loose.
Oh, there's no screws in it.
Oh.
Nice, all right, let's...
As you can see, this is all like not lined up properly. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this thing is so ghetto rigged, but you know what?
It works.
There it is. Check it out. The old head unit. Oh yeah, that's not even, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay, that is not good.
Oh, no.
No, oh my gosh, dude, whoever did this is a moron. That's not how you're supposed to use these connectors.
No, that's gonna be a pain.
No, you just unplug this, so then plug it into the new adapter, bro.
Oh, okay, good. No, for a second I thought that they just hardwired it in.
Nope, it's got a connector.
That's what they did with one of mine. I think it was a 96, but whatever.
But guys, if you're gonna use these connectors, don't do it like this. This is the worst I've ever seen.
It's the best you've ever seen.
They're two-sided for a reason. It's not a wire nut. Oh my gosh. I do want to keep that though. Oh, it's got a fuse.
Hey, XJ.
Hey, look at the back. It's got a fuse on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what is that? 7.5. Yep.
Heck yeah, I like how the antenna was.
Oh, I wonder. Here, let me see this. It's got a spec sheet on it even. Oh, it's even got a wiring diagram.
That's pretty cool.
Made in Japan.
Oh my gosh, guys.
But that's atrocious.
That's
Why would you do it like that? That's so stupid.
Because they're smart. That's just undone.
Yeah, this thing is a wiring nightmare, guys. Here, move that out of the way. Like, you can see, like, there's, like, actual speaker wire back there, too.
There's a spade connector up here.
Why are they putting speakers in the dash?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, this is a mess. This is
nice.
We're gonna wire it all up and it's just not gonna work because of how shoddy this is. Check this out. We just test fitted the adapter to be sure it works, and sure enough, it does. So we gotta go ahead and build this harness now. So the way we're gonna actually be building this wiring harness is with these little connectors here. Now, it would be better to solder it, but it takes too long and this is just easier. So we're gonna do this, get that on there, and then get the matching end from the adapter, stick it in the other side, and we will actually be running heat shrink tubing over it to insulate it because, as you can see, the wire is stripped just a little bit too far. Now when you're doing this, don't tar it out and crimp it before you put the heat shrink on it, because that's a mistake you'll make only one time and then you'll never do it again. Now the proper way to do heat shrink is with some soldering iron adapter type deal, but we're just going to use the good old blowtorch here. You don't want to melt the wire during this process either. But that looks about good right there. So it's not the prettiest job, but you know what? No one's gonna see it anyway because it's inside your dash. There's the wiring harness, guys, all done up. Doesn't look super pretty, but it's gonna work. We ended up taping off these 2 wires because this is for a power antenna, this blue one here. If it would pull focus, that would be very helpful. There we go. So the blue one's for a power antenna, which I do not have, and the orange one is for the lighting control on the head unit itself, which my head unit doesn't have. So that's fine there. Now we get to get into the really fun part of figuring out which wire is which. So I can actually show you this now. There's holes right there. That's the extra ones that the previous owner had drilled to fit 6.5-inch drivers back here. But as you can see, the ones for the 5 1/4 from the factory are still here and intact, but we have to figure out now which of these is positive and negative. And to make it even more fun, all of them are different colors. So it's been a little bit, but check this out. We actually do have spade connectors on the wires, courtesy of Josiah. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna take the, let me try to get a good angle for you guys here. So the wide spade connector obviously goes on the wider terminal. That is really loose. Hold on, let me go get some crimpers. Should be good right there. Let's try this again. There we go. That's much better right there. And then the small one goes on the smaller connector. Right about like that. There you go. Got a nice good connection now. So what I'm gonna do is kind of hold it like this and attempt to not touch the surround a ton. Grab a screw. We'll just get them all started just semi-finger tight. So with your screws in there kind of finger tight, you can either do this with a screwdriver, but because I'm lazy, I'm going to be using this little impact driver right here. Now you don't want to crank too tight because this is a fiberglass hatchback, so you could break it. So kind of just go like that. We'll try to do as much of a star-shaped pattern as you can with a 4-screw type deal. And there it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one in, and then we'll jump to the front door speakers. So we now get to move on to the front door speakers, which, as I said, we are using 6.5-inch drivers for. Now, if you're doing this in your own Jeep, it's probably not gonna be the same, especially if it's a 92, unless you buy it from the same guy I bought mine from, because it'll have the same, like, really cheap, crappy cut. But hopefully, with this variety of mounting options, some of the holes will line up and we can at least get 3 screws in here. There we go. Okay, here's the deal with this. You remember how I said that the guy who did this had absolutely no idea what he was doing? So check this out. The top 2 screws line up pretty okay. None of the bottom screws do. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, since there's one at the bottom and it's just gonna make it easier, I'm gonna drill 1 additional hole here and then put a screw in it and we'll call it good.
Yeah, you went in there like clunk.
I knew that was gonna happen too. There we go.
So we got the little ghetto ground here, and what we're gonna do, there's that little clip up there. So we're just gonna slide this connector on there and hope it works, because I don't care to do it another way, and neither does he. So yep. He approved it, so that's what we're doing.
I approved it, and it is my vehicle.
Exactly. We got the harness here that Sam put together. I actually did surprisingly a pretty good job.
I'm surprised too.
But anyways, you got that. Clip it in. Now we just got to get the adapter set up on here, which these are broken, so that might be fun to deal with. This one will probably work. That one, we might need to go to the hardware store the 3rd time today to get something.
We're gonna go ahead and put the Jeep into accessory mode and see if anything blows up. Oh, all right. Good start. Language English, yes. 12. Quit, yes. We will just pair up my phone. Add device, here we go. So I'm not entirely sure what's gonna show up here. Says searching. This is always like the biggest pain. Okay, here it is right here. So we're gonna select that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit pair. And as you can see, the code matches on the head unit here. You have to confirm on that too. And now it's paired. Oh, okay. App not installed. Really? It uses a different app than the other one?
Yep,
That's kind of lame. Smart Sync would like to send you notifications. Nah. You can now use Alexa. Great. Wow, this is a really ugly app. Oh my gosh. All right. I found this song a little bit ago. It's pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and just use it. Let me actually turn the head unit down a little bit, and we'll start with it like that. Oh, wow.
Just make sure they all work.
That's not promising for the subs.
No, it's not.
So we just found a pretty potentially like really bad issue. That door is cracked. Now, when we initially tested the speakers in here, they all worked, but they rattled really bad. Now, one of the rattles was coming from the hatchback, and all that was just a wire went down into one of the speaker baskets, and the cone was tapping it, so that was easy. But this is what's rattling up here. That, yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but it's a beaut.
Great.
It's a beaut. You gotta love an old Cherokee. So you'll remember I mentioned that Josiah is a pretty good welder. Here's your proof right here. Look at that.
How good that is.
Dang, man.
Look at these beads.
Look at that.
Is it going to hold? Absolutely not. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Can I bridge the gap on this one?
Yep. Yep. That's how we're fixing it. We're moving on to the process of putting the subwoofer in now, and Josiah is working on taking off this trim piece, and if you look here, there's already a wire that's been run. And what that is if you come around and look up here, right here, it is this towing connector thing. Now, I don't plan on towing this, and there's already a hole drilled right there that runs it right to the hatchback where we need to run the subwoofer wire. Now, the only issue is the battery is over there. Hopefully it gives me enough room, but I guess we'll find out. But it is nice that there is already a hole drilled there. So as you can see, it's dark now, but check this out. I got the nice little inline fuse here. I kind of did that a little incorrectly, but you know what? It's going to be fine. And as you can see here, it's on the terminal loosely, so we can kind of get it rotated. But if you follow me over to here and check this out, that right there is the hole where the ghetto rigged tow thing was. So we put a grommet in there that actually fit perfectly. And we're going to go ahead and run the power wire from the subs. Don't ask me why it's half not braided. I don't know. Guess it's just because Kicker's cheap and I didn't buy like their super high-end $400 wiring kit. So we're gonna take this, kind of just, come on, get it in frame, Josiah. There you go. Just gonna push it in like that. In theory, yep, there we go. That should be about good. Now, unfortunately, the battery's over here, so we're having to waste some wire going all the way across to here. but there's nowhere to really drill on that side of the engine bay. But anyway, there it is. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there's the wire.
So how we're like ghetto rigging the ground up here? Well, someone already did a ground wire somewhere, it looks like, and we got the proper fitting.
Yep, I got the remote wire all rigged up and ready to go. And that's the signal wire from the amp. So we're getting ready to be done finally. There's the plug. Check it out, guys. We've got all the wiring done except the ground wire and of course the sub speaker wire. I kind of copied what Car Toys did on the 4Runner and put the signal wires going under the amp because it looks nicer. And also, Josiah is a freaking genius. So what he's doing, what he did, if you look here, that's the ground, and it goes back here, right behind the bolt that he's putting in, and now it's grounded, so you won't be able to see it.
I'm actually thoroughly impressed with myself that I figured that one out.
Yeah, this guy hates doing wiring, but he seems to be enjoying this job. I know he secretly loves subwoofers, he just won't admit it.
That's not true, but this actually isn't a bad. This is actually kind of a fun time.
So there it is, guys. Check that out. We got the single 12-inch kicker with that new black cone right there, and the amp. The only mistake I really made was not running the speaker wire from the amp to the speaker under the amp, but you know what? It's gonna be okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and give it a test. Basically, right now we're checking to see if that power light comes on when we turn the ignition. That's not good. There's nothing. It's in protect. Now it's on power. Okay. Little false alarm. As you can see, that power light is on. We just had to actually, turn the head unit on. And that is where we're going to have to end this video. I was planning on ending this video with a little bit of a bump demo and a couple of other things for you guys, but before I even got the chance to shoot any of that, something went catastrophically wrong with the Jeep. Now, I didn't blow the engine, nothing like that happened, but what did happen will be talked about 2 weeks from today when I release the next video on this Cherokee. The reason it's not coming out next week is because I will finally be releasing everyone's long-anticipated sprinkler system opening for 2021. Anyway though, guys, that is going to be it for this video. As usual, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Big shout out to Josiah for helping me shoot this video and run the sub wire and doing everything else that he did in the video. Anyway though, guys, until Wednesday, that is going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the video.